Hi guys, Toasted Gaming is back at it again, digging through the digital graveyards and neon-lit hallways of gaming history. If you're new here, welcome to the chaos. I've made a bunch of videos like this, ranking games built on an iconic engine. If you're new here, welcome to the chaos. I've made a bunch of videos like this, where I ranked games built on iconic engines, like the Source engine or Build engine. And if you wanna binge that madness, there is a whole playlist waiting for you on my channel. Go check it out if you're into older shooting games, forgotten shovelware, or just want to hear me trash talk about games that deserve it. But today, whoo boy, we're diving into the LithTech Engine, the tech that powered some legendary classics and also some of the biggest digital trash fires ever pressed onto a CD. Now, the LithTech Engine was developed by Monolith Productions, rest in peace, the folks behind Shogo, Mobile Armor Division, No One Lives Forever, and the almighty Fear. It was a pretty big deal back in the late 90s and early 2000s. It could handle big open levels, cool lightning effects, and eventually gave us Shadow of Mordor and its glorious Nemesis system. I was thinking if I should divide and make different videos for different versions of LithTech, but some of the versions don't have enough games. And then there are games that nobody even knows what version of LithTech they use. So we're combining them into one list, and I'll post it on blue bar of every game which version it uses if I know. So how did I decide who sits on the digital Iron Throne and who gets tossed into the bargain bin? Mostly, it's my opinion. Because, hey, that's how YouTube works. But I also checked out user reviews, critic reviews, and a few forum threads where people talked about them. Some of these games are just hard to find any info about. And listen, if a game's good, I'll praise it. If it's trash, I'm gonna say it's trash. Sometimes I'll do it politely, but not always. By the way, if you wanna join my channel, you'll get 1 week early access to videos like this. Everyone who joins also gets priority to their video suggestions, so if you're dying to see me rank every obscure gardening simulator, I might just do it. I'm that crazy. And of course, your name immortalized among the supporters who make these videos possible. Check the join button below. Oh, and if you're feeling chatty or just wanna meme about bad games with me and the community, come hang out on my Discord. Links in the description below. It's free, it's empty currently, I need you guys, and you know, let's talk. Alright, that's enough foreplay, let's kick off part 1 of my LithTech Engine ranking, where we'll go from the absolute bottom of the barrel, 78th place, up to slightly less crappy 61st. Grab your asbestos gloves, because some of these games are nuclear level disasters. Let's do this. Alright, dead last, number 78, and folks, it could only be one game. Crisis Team Ambulance Driver. Imagine if someone cloned Crazy Taxi, but replaced the taxi with an ambulance, stripped out all the fun, threw in physics that handle like a drunken hippo, and slattered it in graphics that look like they were drawn in crayon on cardboard boxes. This game has ear-splitting sound effects, controls that feel like staring a pregnant elephant on ice, and levels uglier than my last Tinder date. And the best part? It's so broken, it makes delivering people to the hospital feel like a war crime. Congratulations, Crisis Team, you're the worst LithTech game ever. Coming in at 77th place, we've got Gods and Generals, a Civil War FPS based on a movie nobody watched, made on an engine that deserves better. You'd think fighting in the Civil War would be intense, but not here. Here, you march in slow motion, fire single-shot rifles that feel like Nerf guns, and stare at levels so brown and boring they'd make a third jealous. The AI is spectacularly brain dead, and sometimes the only way to tell who's an enemy is by whether they're moving. And enemies don't move that much in this game. There was zero passion put into this. Developers just got license for the movie combined everything they had for a week and put it on a disc. On a shelf. Gods and generals, more like dumps and dumpers. Next. At 76th place, it's Nina, Agent Chronicles. This one's for all you fans of barely functional Eastern European shovelware. Nina's supposed to be some badass secret agent, but in practice, she runs through giant empty levels shooting at dumb enemies who spawn like they're popping out of clown cars. There's no crouching, no leaning, no picking up enemy guns, and the voice acting sounds like an Australian trying to fake a German, trying to fake a British accent. It's like linguistic inception, but terrible. Plus the game's unique mechanic is mind reading, except you do it by punching people. You can't shoot them, you have to run up and slap the secrets out of them. Nina, honey, you deserve better. But this game sure doesn't. Sliding into 75th place, we've got Arthur's Quest, Battle for the Kingdom. Now, let me be clear, I love a good fantasy game, but this ain't it, chief. Arthur's Quest is like someone watched Lord of the Rings once and decided, hey, let's do King Arthur, but make it look like garbage. Half the game takes place in identical forests, filled with invisible walls, enemies that get stuck on mushrooms, and rivers that apparently function like acid pits. Combat? Don't bother, your sword swings will miss half the time, even if you're practically making out with the enemy. And the smart strategy is just running past everything, while building a giant conga line of monsters following you. The only reason it's not dead last is because it's kinda hilarious to watch. But that's not a compliment. Rolling into 74th place, it's MTH Railking Model Railroad Simulator. Okay, there's a lot of people who love trains. There is nothing wrong with good virtual railroad. Building tracks, running locomotives, all that geeky stuff. But Railking? This one derails faster than Thomas on bath salt. So here's the deal. You can design your own tracks. Build stations, slap down scenery, and watch your trains go choo-choo. There's even 40 missions, a tutorial, and an encyclopedia. Sounds solid, right? Except everything's painfully limited. Compared to trains, this game is like trying to run a modern railway with a wooden toy tracks. The controls are clunky, the graphics look like someone textured the world with grey carpet samples, and the trains themselves feel lifeless as hell. It's not the absolute worst, but it's about as exciting as waiting for a delayed commuter train in real life. MTH Railking tried to bring model railroading to the PC and instead gave us a virtual boredom simulator. Choo-choo indeed. Let's move on. At 73rd place, we've got Western Outlaw, Wanted Dead or Alive. Yeehaw, partner! Or actually, yeehard pass. Imagine a Wild West shooter where everything looks like it's been rendered in wet cardboard, and you'll get the idea. Enemies walk around like they're on invisible treadmills, gunfights feel like you're throwing spitballs, and voice acting is as bad as it gets. There's no charm, no style, just endless shooting galleries, and music so repetitive it'll make your brain leak out of your ears. This ain't Red Dead. This is dead dull. At 72nd place, it's the legendary disaster known as Mistmare. This game is basically what happens when medieval monks take a massive bong rip and decide to make an RPG. It's set in an alternate Europe ravaged by a magical mist. And trust me, you'll wish you were lost in that mist rather than playing this train wreck. Combat is broken, quests are bugged to hell, and crashes happen more often than in a drunken demolition derby. And let's not forget the permadeath system, because nothing says fun like dying to a glitch and losing everything. Mistmare is proof that sometimes medieval Europe should just stay lost. 71st place goes to Army Rangers Mogadishu. Sounds intense, right? Wrong. This This game is just a random budget shooter, bland environments, copy-pasted terrorists, and AI that couldn't outsmart a Roomba. Your missions feel like you're on a low-budget movie set, blasting endless bad guys who stand there waiting to be shot. The guns have zero punch, and every level is basically a corridor painted a different shade of beige. If this was supposed to honor real army rangers, well, I'm filing a formal apology letter on behalf of the game. Landing in 70th place, it's Vietnam 2, Special Assignment. This game is basically Vietnam Black Ops wearing a slightly different hat. They recycled the same levels, slapped a 2 on the box and called it a sequel. The only difference is that it uses newer version of the engine, so it looks better. But that improvement has nothing to do with developers' work. You sneak around blocky jungles, shooting enemies who stand there like mannequins at a military surplus store. The graphics look like a moldy camouflage pattern, and the guns sound like someone spitting into a coffee can. It's so generic, you'll forget you're playing it while you're still playing it. Vietnam 2, more like Vietnam Special Disappointment. Speaking of disappointments, 69th place goes to Vietnam Black Ops. This one's legendary. Legendary for how cheap it feels. Imagine a jungle made out of green construction paper, enemies popping out of nowhere, and weapons that sound like they were recorded inside a shoebox. The AI? Let's just say I've seen more tactical thinking from my toaster. And half the time, you'll get stuck on level geometry that looks like leftover Lego bricks. It's short, ugly, and the only Black Ops operation here is trying to erase this game from your memory. At 68th place, we've got Combat Zone Special Forces. Now, let's give credit where it's due. This game tried to go full multiplayer, the only City Interactive game to ever do that. You've got factions like SAS, SWAT, Spetsnaz, terrorists, all blasting each other across 15 different maps. There's deathmatch, domination, capture the flag, the whole buffet. Sounds cool, right? Well, no, there's so many problems. Most important one is that there's no single player, no bots. And a game that nobody knows about, it probably died in the first week. Just like other City Interactive games from the same era, this one, it just feels like mod for Fear, and not a good one. It's a clone of Fear actually. So unless you've got friends willing to set up a LAN party and tolerate janky graphics and clunky controls, you're basically stuck in an empty server alone. Combat Zone, it wasn't the worst idea ever, but City Interactive from that time, it was just sad looking at what they made. Speaking of City Interactive, in 67th place we've got Armed Forces Corp. This one's got all the classic hallmarks of Eastern European shovelware. Janky animations, bland levels, and enemies who politely stand still while you line up your shots. Gunplay feels like spraying a garden hose. The sound effects are recycled from every other City Interactive game, and mission objectives are about as thrilling as reading a tax form. It's not offensively broken, it's just painfully mediocre. And the worst part, you'll forget you played it before you even uninstall it. At 66th place, we've got Mob Enforcer, Chicago, in the 1930s. Tommy guns blazing, wise guys in fedoras. Sounds cool, right? Too bad Mob Enforcer manages to suck every drop of fun out of Prohibition-era gangster life. This game has stiff animations, gunplay that feels like shooting rubber bands, and levels so repetitive, you'd think Al Capone was hiding in an IKEA showroom. And the voice acting? It's like they kidnapped random dudes from a bus station and forced them to read mob cliches into a tin can. Mob Enforcer wanted to be Mafia, but instead, it just feels like a mod, a total conversion for No One Lives Forever. Marching at 65th place is March, Offworld Recon. Okay, first of all, why the exclamation mark, game? Calm down. This is a sci-fi shooter where you're supposed to save a mining colony on a distant planet. It's not Red Faction, but it mostly involves wandering around endless bland corridors and shooting robots who look like they're made of leftover vacuum cleaner parts. The levels are so bland, you'd think you're in one of the Hell's Kitchen episodes tasting shitty early episode food, and the voice acting is hilariously over the top. It's like a dollar store Duke Nukem. It's not offensively broken, it's just boring as hell. Sliding into 64th place is Navy SEALs, weapons of mass destruction. Yes, another budget military shooter, with a title longer than the game's runtime. You play as a Navy SEAL on a world tour of brown hallways and flat terrain, blasting terrorists who stand perfectly still like they're posing for passport photos. I think it might be one of the worst FPS games I ever played. And why is it in 64th place? Because it's so bad it's good. It's one of the worst games that I consider best of the worst or whatever. I don't know where I'm going with this. It's just so fun to play this with friends and while you're drinking. So thing is, the guns feel like staplers, the enemies have the intelligence of soggy toast, and the level design is about as inspired as a cardboard box. If you don't like games that are so bad they're good, maybe just watch some Navy SEALs documentary. At 63rd place we've got Wolfschanze II. Now, let's get one thing straight. I love a good World War II shooter, but Wolfschanze II is not among them. You play as a Polish saboteur, sneaking through Nazi bunkers, but the sneaking part is optional, because you can run past half the enemies and they won't even notice. Gunfights feel like you're tossing spitballs, the animations look like they were made by interns, and the voice acting sounds like it was recorded in someone's bathroom. And despite being released in 2011, it looks like a game from 2001, and it's running on same LithTech version as Fear 1. This game is like 10 years late to the party, and still no one wants to dance with it. Coming in at 62nd place, we've got Terrorist Takedown 2. Now, look, there's cheap shooters, and then there's this. This game is basically one long shooting gallery where you mow down endless waves of terrorists who run at you like you were TV on Black Friday. The levels are flat, the missions are repetitive, and the graphics are so bland they'd make oatmeal look spicy. All the guns sound like cap pistols, and half the time you'll die because enemy appear out of thin air like cheap jump scares at a haunted house. It's not offensively broken, it's just so damn boring. Terrorist Takedown 2? I wish this game was actually taken down by terrorists. And best game of part 1. At 61st place we've got Sniper, Path of Vengeance. Okay, so buckle up. This game's a weird one. You're some buff tattooed dude named Sniper, busting out of prison to take revenge on everyone. Sounds cool? Well, don't get your hopes up. But combat feels like shooting water guns at mannequins, the enemies talk non-stop with cringy one-liners, and the environments look like they were copied and pasted from an abandoned hardware store. And the voice acting? Chef's kiss. It's so hilariously bad, it's almost worth playing just to hear these grunts yelling "freaking die!" every 5 seconds. This game tries so hard to be edgy, but ends up as a glorious train wreck. It's not the worst LithTech game, but it's definitely one of the weirdest. And there you have it, folks, the absolute bottom of a LithTech barrel. From ambulances that drive like drunken hippos, to mobsters with cardboard guns, and Vietnam jungles made of green construction paper. Thank God, guys, we've survived part 1 of this wild ride. But don't go thinking we're done yet. Part 2 is coming soon, where we'll keep climbing the ranks and see if LithTech finally managed to chum out something actually good. Spoiler alert, there's still plenty of junk to go around. And if you enjoyed watching me roast these digital disasters, slam that like button like it owes you money. Drop a comment below and let me know. Which rankings would you change? Did I disrespect your favorite shovelware shooter? Or is there some other cursed LithTech game that you think is worse than whatever was in 61st place? And don't forget to hit subscribe, so you don't miss part 2, or any other engine ranking chaos I've got cooking up. Also, I wanna hear your ideas. Tell me in the comments what videos you want to see next. Want me to rank every FPS with werewolves? Or the top 10 worst voice acting performances in gaming history? Let's make it happen. And remember, if you wanna get videos 1 week early, join the channel. Your name goes up in lights, your video ideas go straight to the top of my list, and you'll help me keep digging through the beautiful trash heap that is gaming history. And hey, come hang out on my Discord, links in the description. It's free, it's mostly empty, and nobody is talking about Sniper Path of Vengeance there. Thanks for watching, you're awesome. I'll see you in part 2, where things might actually start getting good. Stay safe, and keep your hitboxes visible. Peace out.